I have one question to you today. Are you constantly trying to prove your worth? You bend your boundaries just to keep people close. You hide parts of yourself because you're afraid they might leave, or worse, see the real you. And here's the truth. That's not your personality. That's developmental trauma. Not from what happened, but from what didn't happen when you were a child. As the consciousness shift began this year across the entire planet, we are now ready to begin a new life, more mindful, elevated, and aligned. Our bodies are no longer designed for the old world's patterns. To match the new Earth frequency, we must evolve through intention, energy, and habit. Because forming new habits is not just productivity, it's the foundation of awakening your body, mind, and soul to the new timeline. What developmental trauma really is. Dr. Gabor Maté says the most damaging trauma isn't always visible. It's not the yelling, it's not the violence, it's the absence. A parent who was physically there, but emotionally absent. A caregiver who couldn't mirror your feelings, couldn't make your emotions feel safe. When that's missing, your brain has to adapt. It learns to suppress your needs. It learns to scan the room for danger before it speaks. It learns to stay small, quiet, pleasing. That's not dysfunction, that was survival. But now, as an adult, it's a prison made of your own nervous system. The ACE connection. Maté reveals the root of what's called ACE, adverse childhood experiences. In Scattered Minds, he explains, a DHD isn't a disease, it's a response to disconnection. When you weren't emotionally mirrored as a child, your brain shut off parts of its attention to protect you. You floated away inside your own head to avoid pain. That coping mechanism, brilliant at the time, now shows up as chronic restlessness, distraction, shame, and anxiety in adulthood. It's not your fault. Your nervous system did exactly what it had to do to keep you alive, but that same survival program now runs your life. How it shows up in adults. If you've lived through this, you probably know these patterns. You fear rejection so deeply you overgive just to keep people happy. You over-explain yourself as if your worth depends on convincing them you mean no harm. You try to fix or rescue others to feel needed. Emotional intimacy feels unsafe, so you either cling too hard or push people away. When conflict hits, you freeze. And deep down, you live with a low-grade hum of "I'm not enough." Why? Because as a child, you weren't seen. And now you're still trying to earn connection instead of living in the truth that you deserve it. Step 1. Awareness. The first step is brutal and freeing at the same time. Stop blaming yourself. It wasn't your job to raise your parents emotionally. You adapted. That's proof of your strength, not your failure. Once you name the pattern, it starts to lose its grip. Like turning on a light in a dark room, the monsters were never real, but the fear was. Step 2. Heal through the body. This isn't just about thinking differently. Trauma isn't just in your mind, it's in your nervous system. Your body is still running the survival program, so we work with the body to tell it a new story. Daily stillness, even 3 to 5 minutes of sitting with your breath. Breath work. Inhale 4 seconds, exhale 6 seconds. This signals safety to the vagus nerve. Cold water, even a splash on your face, teaches your body it can be calm in discomfort. Somatic grounding. Feel your feet on the floor, notice your spine. Notice now. Gentle movement, yoga, walking, stretching, to release stored tension. And through it all, compassionate self-observation. You don't have to force change, you just have to show up for yourself every day. Ichangshi shift. When you start showing your nervous system what safety feels like, everything begins to change. You speak without rehearsing. You set a boundary without drowning in guilt. You choose connection instead of people-pleasing. You let people see you without the mask. The patterns don't vanish overnight, but the grip they have on you weakens. And for the first time, you decide how to live. This wound was never your fault, but the healing, that's yours, and that's the power. You're no longer that child. You can give yourself the presence you always needed. And from that, you can create a life led not by fear, but by freedom. This is not an accident. You were guided here, not by chance, but by something deeper within you calling you to remember. Only those who are ready ever find messages like this. This is more than a habit, it's your code. The way we move, eat, breathe, and think must match the energy of what's coming. And what's coming is higher. Align with it, live it, and rise into the timeline where your fullest self is waiting. This is Habit Code, and the next episode starts right now.